coffee. If I need to see anything, I can put my damn glasses on and it'll be fine.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a great way to start. Thanks for the intro, Colleen Bertino. Well, welcome to the Gr8 Nrthrn Sexcast. Michael Radke in the house.
Hello.
Hello, Kelly Guest. And we have a special guest today, Brandon. Hey, Brandon.
Hey, how's it going, y'all?
We are doing super great. Thank you so much for deciding to join us. We'll go ahead and what would you describe your job title and profession as?
I'm a professional male stripper.
Okay. Okay. So just out of curiosity, are you from here?
Yes, I am. Born and raised Minneapolis.
Okay. Okay. So local.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm from the cities, Twin Cities.
Okay. So guys, let's just kind of get some of his background because I mean, how often do you really ever get to talk? You might be in an establishment where you will see these rare and exotic creatures, but how often do you ever get to really, chat and ask questions? So.
Yeah, but the only time we have the strippers is that we do the booty cruise.
We do,
and they bring in the guys for that. And I know that my employees say that it's a lot of fun. I haven't attended one yet because I'm afraid at my advanced age that I would want to admonish the young ladies, and that would and I would be a party pooper, and I don't want to be a party pooper.
Well, I have a confession to make. I am one of the dancers on there.
I thought I recognized you. I am the other guy on the Fantasy Gifts. I thought you looked familiar. I'm like, oh,
I've been on there for 5 years.
Yes.
Oh my gosh,
he does a really great skit too. I remember him from Booty Cruise. So yeah.
Now tell everybody for those of us who don't know exactly the details on Booty Cruise. When is it? What is it?
Booty Cruise happens every summer, and I think the dates, they kind of jump around a little bit. I know the first one this year is June 4th, and then it moves into July, so somewhere in the middle of July, and then the last one's always on September. It's like the middle of September.
Okay.
So they have 3 every year. The first one is always the craziest, and then it kind of just mellows out from. Then you get your returns that like, oh, I had a great time, and like the first one's like, oh, I never experienced this. The second one's like, okay, we got our seasoned people in there, and then the last one's like, most people are back at school.
Oh, so where does this take place?
I think the St. Croix River.
Yep, right down in Stillwater. We dock in there.
Okay.
It's kind of crazy, too. It's because we'll get on the boat and we see the ladies start climbing on. And they're so calm and petite and everything. But then halfway through, they're starting to get wild. It's
a show.
It's a show.
As much as what the audience is doing, than the performers, right?
Sometimes the audience like to take over the show sometimes,
Oh my.
and us guys find ourselves sitting on the chair. We're like, okay, well, it's a good break for us. We don't have to do much. We can sit here and we get tipped by just sitting there. So
Okay, take a little 5-minute sit down and collect some dollars. How long? Not just Booty Cruise, but how long have you been doing this whole thing, Brandon?
7 years. I've
Okay.
been stripping for 7 years.
Okay, and how'd you get started?
Well, one day, I think I was 21, and I knew I could dance. Me and my friends had been going out to the bars in Minneapolis. We always like to just put on a show. We find other guys in the bar, we challenge them, and we get this big circle going. And then one day it just kind of dawned on me. I was like, maybe we should do something with this. If we got this huge crowd at the bar, why don't we just, take it the next step? My friend was all for it at first, and then when I told him, like, hey, man, why don't we just, try male stripping out? It can't hurt. And he's like, yeah, sure. Why not? And then one day, one of my girlfriends said, hey, we actually need a stripper for a bachelorette party. Would you be interested? I'm like, sure, why not? Then she originally invited both of us, and then when the date comes, my friend got so scared. Big
talk until the big day.
Yeah, he got so scared. He was like trembling. I'm like, are you okay? He's like, yeah. I got this. I got this. I'm like, dude, it'll be okay. I'm nervous too. Don't just. It'll be all right. He's like, I've never done this before. I'm like, yes, you have. We do it in the bar all the time. But that's different because we're clothed, and this time we're going to be naked. Well, just think of it as a bar, just naked. So the time comes, we get to the house, and he didn't get out of the car. He was just like, I can't do it. I can't do it.
And it's a smaller venue too.
Yeah.
I mean, you could sort of, even though I could see it in a bar, even though you're I mean, you can be sort of anonymous.
Yeah.
You were not going to be
Yeah, they know who
anonymous
you
there.
are.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, there was just no way of hiding there. I mean, not that was the point, but you can put a block on.
It was crazy, dude. There was only 5 girls, like literally only 5 girls. And I'm like, are you literally? We dance in front of like the whole entire bar, and you come 5 girls, and you just shit your pants. So I was like, okay, I'll go and do this. I went in there, didn't really know what I was doing at first, but I was a mess at first because I didn't have music, I didn't have a skit, I didn't have a costume, nothing. It was just like, all right, I go in there. They had music for me, so that was a plus. So I just jumped into it, and thankfully everything went okay. I wouldn't say I was the best stripper when I first started. Kind of a mess. I kind of fell on the floor when I gave my first lap dance, and I was like, oh, that didn't happen. But the girls are very nice, so they're like, oh, you look great. That was very fun. Most bachelorette parties, we don't really need all the super crazy stuff anyway, so it was perfect for them. So I was like, all right, after that first party, I was like, I can do this. Yeah. I'm really mad you didn't come in, but
yeah.
So do you like study by like YouTube videos, or I mean, or you just
stripping for dummies? What happened?
Well, usually you find a girlfriend that's willing to partake. There's always some girl that's willing. Yeah, sure, I can be your dummy. So you just kind of learn. Just come to my house. I was like, come over. I'm gonna just dance on you a little bit. Let me figure this out. And the more you do it, the better you get. It's kind of one of those trial and error things. And every girl is different. Every girl likes different things. Every girl wants you up here. Some girls want you down here. Some girls want you over here. Some girls want to be way up here. It's like you just have to feel what the girl wants.
Yeah,
and
how far the party's going to go.
Yeah.
Where folks are going to be comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like a stand-up comedian or something. You got to read your audience.
Yeah. Figure out
where
what's funny for them, what's not funny for them, what's too far, what's not too far.
Yeah.
You know, what kind of, what style of music they like. It's a lot of variables in it. Like, a lot of them just think it's like, take off your clothes, you're good. Not the case.
No, there's work involved.
Yeah,
there's art involved. I get that.
It's a lot of work.
I mean, I just think about how many times like I've had to go into a broadcasting situation, like for radio or even sometimes the podcasting when we take equipment on scene, and you don't know what you're walking into. You don't know, what the lay of the land is. I can't imagine if I had that going on, and then I had to take off my clothes.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, that just adds a whole layer of whatever to it.
So here's a question I have. So there's the taking the clothes off part.
Yes.
How do you get the clothes back? They never show that part in anything. That never shows up in like movies like Magic Mike or this or that, or when
part's not interesting.
Yeah. But I'm always curious. How do you? I mean, you're going to invest in costumes. You're going to invest in all this sort of stuff. I would want it back.
I know, but it's kind of
okay.
like.
I'm sorry. That's what's been in front of my head, and I'm not.
I guess
curious.
It's like you can probably describe it as like lingerie from a woman. It's like they present it for whoever they're presented it for in the room, and then usually in the end it ends up on the floor. Mm-hmm. Same thing for us strippers. Like we come in, we're all in a cop uniform, fireman, all kinds of costumes. I mean, it's been as crazy as a clown outfit.
Ew.
Yes.
Oh, ew.
Nothing sexy about that.
No, some customers really will request it, and it's not for something weird. It's actually like it's a good reason why they requested it, because the person that they having the party for is a ringmaster. Mm-hmm. So there's just like we're gonna.
Well, you're gonna relate. I mean, once again, know who your client is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they'll tell
big
you exactly
nose and everything. You got the big red nose and stuff.
I try to avoid the makeup part, but I figured the nose would
be easy enough to take off.
Yeah, it's first thing.
Yeah, you can take that off sexy.
Yeah, kind of. But yeah, the dress up part is like the music's off and you go in the bathroom, get dressed, and.
But wait, how was the gyrating in the big floppy shoes?
That's difficult.
I
will. You come in, you kind of feel like Bigfoot, and then you're trying to, be sexy in this clown outfit. I mean, it's nice when you start taking it off. They're like, woo, everyone's going crazy, but you're like, okay, but I don't know how to be sexy taking off these big shoes. Yeah. I'll do my best.
but that's part of it. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna hire a clown stripper, then yeah, that's gonna be part. That's gonna be part of the deal.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, honk honk or something. You know, have I don't know. There's
That actually works pretty well.
he's tried this. That's what I like. Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned police officer, firefighter.
Yeah, very common ones.
Yeah, those are actually those are costumes that we do well with, and even female officer. When our other the other side.
I
These
like
are
female
officers.
I got those little fantasies too. I wish I ordered me a female stripper to come to my house and she shows up as some. Actually, I like the nurse.
You like that one?
Yeah,
too?
no, yeah,
Take care of me.
nurse, police officer, or
Schoolgirl.
army sergeant, schoolgirl, and maid. I mean, these are the top. These are the top four, and that's
Awesome.
always. I mean, they're just standard things we always carry.
I forgot. Oh my god.
And so I'm assuming that you've got officer, firefighter, probably you have a suit. You got your your standard.
I think my favorite one that you guys do on Booty Cruise is the Grim Reaper. That is my favorite skit.
The guy, I forgot the guy. He's not on there anymore, but I do remember the
remember
guy
that?
who did it. Yeah, was that like 2 or 3 years ago?
That was 2 years ago, and then I think it was last year. Another guy did it once, but that was my favorite skit.
Was it Dr. Jekyll?
Oh, was it?
That's something like that.
Yeah,
'Cause
they do that really dark music. It was really cool. It's like gets
he
them all
comes
pumped
in,
up.
he has his little potion.
Yes,
and he
that's the one.
yeah.
Okay, Dr. Jekyll. Okay.
I could, yeah. I mean,
Sorry,
just
guys.
everyone's getting. Obviously, if it's memorable, it's memorable. That's what you want.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get repeat business from word of mouth. That works for us at our stores, and I'm assuming that's gonna, that's how you're.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, that's
Well, I mean, and let's just go ahead and take a quick mention here that with regard to fantasy gifts, you can buy costumes for these kinds of performances at the fantasy gift stores, right? Is there one store that has a better selection, or should you just go online?
Well, we have a really large selection of thongs and stuff like that. The costume itself, I mean, all the gentlemen are going to be very different sized, so that what you're taking off, I'm not going to be able to carry. It's just going to be too much. What's underneath? The really pretty gift wrapping. Yeah, that part we have.
And we do have we do have costumes as well, like at our Minneapolis store, like packaged lingerie. We do have like I think it's instruction, the cop, the butler and stuff. And you just put a thong underneath that and you can, strip that off. I think we have a cowboy where it's like chaps.
Oh,
how hot would that be with chaps with a thong?
Yeah, I've shopped at Fantasy Gifts quite often. So I found a lot of my attire there.
Yeah.
Have it? Well, I want to get into some mechanical questions, but just kind of since you brought up the idea of chaps with like a thong, there was a restaurant out in California called Texas Lucy's, Loosuys. I don't know if it's still, out there or not, but the girls all wore ruffled, pants with ruffles across and chaps with cowboy boots, and it was like these bikini, and they were all just hotter than hell. But I mean, it was so cute. They turn around and you see those ruffles and the bare legs with chaps. Oh, it works. I could see that working on a guy.
Oh, definitely.
I never actually tried that, to tell you the truth. I've tried the
pull it off.
chaps, but I don't know about the ruffles.
Yeah, I was about to go.
No ruffles, but
No,
maybe some really just cool. How many layers? This is what I want to know. How many layers of thong / underwear do you wear to keep?
Generally, I only wear one. I just try and find like a solid one.
Okay.
Because I mean, some guys you can get the sheer ones where you can kind of see through, but some girls don't really enjoy seeing like the whole package. They like the fantasy of the mysteriousness of what they can put in their head.
Okay.
So I like to get like a solid thong and just show them what I'm working with. And then they do the rest.
Okay.
Just present the man into them and let their minds go where they want to go. That's
Exactly, yeah.
So when you said how many different skits would you say that you developed for yourself?
Oh God, let's see. I've done baseball, I've done football, done fireman, I've done a police officer, I've done a cowboy. I'm trying to think what else I've done. Was that 6?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. That is a lot.
So we're at 6 on that one. I know there's another one. I've done a pirate. I know there's more. Just give me a second.
I can see the pirate. Yeah, I can see how the pirate would have been very popular the past few years.
The pirate one actually works. It just gets really hot because my pirate is I have dreadlocks, and so the wig in itself is it's hot. And I've done some, you probably guys wouldn't even be familiar with it, but I've done video game characters too. So the cosplay aspect of it too. There's nerd females that absolutely love male strippers, and they'll tell you to come as a video game characters. I know some people might know League of Legends, Tekken, Street Fighters, Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
They'll ask you to come as some of those characters, and they'll like come over here as Scorpion, and as soon as you come in the room, get over here. That kind of thing. They absolutely love it.
That's awesome.
I love that. And I have friends that do a lot of costuming. I have a lot of friends that do cosplay, and people use both terms.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure none of them ever mentioned strippers, and I'm going to bring that up now and tell me what they're missing at the conventions.
Yeah. No, that's a hell of an idea.
Just be careful about some of the strippers you do get, because some of them, the variety of strippers you get, they're all different. Every single one of them is different. Every one of them has their own way of doing things, their own idea what's too far, what's not too far, and some of them need alcohol. Most of them need alcohol, but not all of them. If you can find a stripper that doesn't need alcohol, you're in the bag. Those are the ones you want. The ones that do need alcohol, you might get in trouble with them because they lose control of themselves.
Oh, okay.
Which is understandable.
Yeah. So
it's a communication. It's amazing how many times when we have a conversation in this room, it ends up being about communication again. When you're talking about who you're hiring, what's going on, where you're going, and what's going on, just that everybody knows what the rules are.
Yeah,
it works like that.
The clients always know what the rules are. It's just that the stripper doesn't always know what the rules are.
Yeah.
So they just have a general idea. I'm a stripper. I'm your entertainer. Our goal is always to make sure that our clients are 100% happy. You're not supposed to do every little thing in the book, but sometimes you get scared and do every little thing in the book.
Yep.
But, some girls just like a general lap dance, they're good. Some girls want to be flipped upside down, thrown, all kinds of crazy stuff.
Dang.
And they're still not satisfied. Well, okay.
So you definitely need to lift with the legs, out with the back.
Right. You get a workout. That's why they generally like their strippers, you gotta have some meat on your bones.
Yeah.
I would love to see what the OSHA tracking statistics would be for male stripping. X number of days without, being chased for an unwanted blowjob. X number of days without... I don't know.
Yeah,
Brandon's probably like, yes.
I'm joining a union.
Well, now,
Going on strike here.
do you have some sort of a process? So when you get a phone call and say I called and said, hey, Brandon, I'd love to hire you for a party of 15 gals. Do you go through some sort of a process so that you come in there pretty well armed with understanding what the boundaries are?
When I first started, I was with an agency that did everything for me.
Oh,
but
that's
now I have my own company where they write out, they put down a deposit, so they make sure that they're really confirmed for the party, because it's a non-refundable deposit. And the reason why they do that is because we get plenty of girls that'll call and say, hey, we want to do a party at such and such time. We're like, okay, we get it all written down and all this great stuff, and then the day of, they cancel.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
and that's
okay.
crap.
Yeah. And you're like, okay, well, I could have booked another party at that time. In the whole booking process, it's kind of a headache, because you have to, email them a receipt. You got to write down the times. I have to get my costume ready, make sure my body's okay. It's a process for us strippers. Like, you can't just, you get yourself prepared for the party as the clients do, but us, we have to mentally repair, we have to bodily repair. Oh my God, it can be nerve wracking. And then you think about it the day of, and your nerves are rattling. You're like, oh God. I don't know who I'm dancing for. I hope they like me, And then, like I said, and you get the day of, and then you find out the people you're dancing for, they get scared of you.
Really?
Yeah, and they're like, well,
maybe
we're not ready for you. We're going to cancel. So we're like, well, as much as I love you guys to do that, but that sucks.
Right.
Yeah. No, you're not ready to just wander. And where you're not, there's other jobs, other employment.
Girls,
there's other things going on there. And it's sort of like when you're, there are restaurants now that are having you prepay for meals because so many people are canceling reservations.
It sucks. You
Really?
waste product. They cook it up, they're ready for you, and then you're like, oh, not coming. Like,
or even our home parties. We started taking a deposit because we need to know that someone is serious.
Yeah, that's exactly how we are too. Like, we need you to be serious about this. Like, if you're not going to put the deposit down, you're not serious enough.
Right.
And that's fine with me. Just, take your time. But we just need to know your seriousness. So that's why they do that deposit thing. Because, a lot of them are like, well, what's the deposit for? Well, so you don't cancel.
Yeah, and once again, it's the folks before that ruined it for everyone else.
Yep.
I mean, I would really love there to be a website to where you could say, who are the people that screwed it up for everybody else?
Right.
Why are these rules in place?
You owe us.
Yes.
Give everybody their deposit for them. You're paying everybody's deposit now.
Yeah, it would work because it's a cost of doing business if you want to do something.
No, I think that's so true. I mean, and service people and anybody that's in business for themselves, because you would consider yourself kind of self-employed, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Okay.
Pretty much.
So where all do you perform? I mean, so you've got a booking service for private things. Tell us about, besides Booty Cruise, the other things that you do.
Most of them generally happen in a house, just in the private home. Hotels, bars, any place you could probably think of. I've been there. I've even been at a school before.
Ooh.
Ooh. Is it in a library?
Hot for teacher much?
Yeah.
Or the other way around.
So how many nights a week are you performing generally?
It's Saturdays is the big day. So generally Fridays and Saturdays are when the girls come out and just let loose. Mm-hmm. You'll occasionally get a Thirsty Thursday in there, and then the Weird Wednesday. But generally Friday and Saturdays are always performance nights. So I'm generally always guaranteed a party Friday and Saturday.
Okay.
So it can vary how many parties can be in that day. So you can have up to, my maximum I've had in a day is 4.
That's a lot.
It is.
Bet you were exhausted.
After the second one, I'm like, how am I going to do the next two?
Yeah.
I call in a friend. I'm like, can you help me? And they're like, well. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, never mind.
Yeah. But it's not just probably the physical aspect of the dancing and everything else. It's all the mental energy.
It's mentally draining.
It's a fantasy that you are like totally locked in. I would think that would just tap you.
It does, because some of the girls, girls go through this all the time. There's a guy that comes up to you just don't like, and they approach you. They're so aggressive. It happens as male strippers too. There's a girl that you're so not interested in, but you have to really play the role that you are very interested in this woman. You make their day. Yeah. That's your job. It can be extremely hard. Extremely hard.
I've seen a few episodes on Booty Cruise.
Where,
it's like,
oh my God.
Well, how far in advance are you usually booked out?
Oh, it can be 6 months. It can be the next day.
Oh, yeah.
It varies. I always at least like to have at least 3 days. So I understand the day of, I usually charge a little bit more because it's the hassle.
Scramble.
Yeah. It's getting everything together, especially if they're like, oh, we want you to come as a costume I never heard of, like
Pokemon.
Come as a Pikachu. Like, okay, it's gonna be a very, very not Pikachu, but I'm gonna try and at least have the tail.
Yeah.
They happen to have tails.
Yes, we do. There are butt plugs, unfortunately, so there's going to be a little pain.
I have not experienced with those. I've seen them being used, just never been experienced. Right. I've done a fantasy. What are they called? The parties Fantasy Gifts does. What are they? Fantasy.
Well, we've
Sweet
done
Romance.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's one of the larger companies over there. They do a lot of parties in town, and then we do ours too because it's part of what we do. Because I wanted to tell our when a customer calls up and says, "Can you do a party?" I want to say yes. I mean, you want to. If someone calls up and says, I want to say yes. It depends, and again, everybody wants Friday and Saturdays,
That's the big day.
and so we just we try and say yes as much as possible, but sometimes you just can't. We can't book it up because Liz has to pull together everything, pull together the
a lot of
brochures.
stuff to prepare.
Same thing.
Well, you just kind of touched up against a question that I had for you. They always talk about when exotic dancing or stripping comes up, it's usually they're talking about women, and then there's this whole faction of society that's like, oh, it's so degrading to women, this, that, and the other thing, and
right.
They're playing a role. It's like, do you ever leave work feeling like really degraded?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fair
Some
question.
parties definitely can make you feel like a piece of meat, and Majority of the time that doesn't happen, but some parties, man, they want to rip your thong off. They lick all over you. I mean, the women I dance for, they're allowed to touch us guys. So I mean, they generally don't go too far with it. But like I said, some parties, oh my God, they're pulling you in the back room.
Oh my!
And you're just like, oh, I don't want to go. Leave me alone. I want to get out of here.
Yeah.
No means no.
And it's tough because you've got to politely explain that this is not right.
Yeah.
And then in my experience, women don't like to be told no.
No, it's You can tell a guy no all day long, and most of them will get it. Women, it's a whole different world because they can get away with a whole lot more. And so
to some extent there's a double standard.
Yeah.
When a lot of times we're talking about in reverse ways, but I know that we sometimes have a more difficult time with someone who's unhappy with our return policy from women than we do from men.
Mm-hmm.
Men go, okay, we can't bring back, that's fine, and they think that if you're going to yell louder, you're going to get what you want.
Yeah.
And like, no.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. Some parties I have to run out in just my thong, and until this day, I have a spare clothes in my car and a spare set of keys in my car just in case that happens.
If you have to do that, where's your car keys?
Yeah, I'm prepared. I've been doing this long enough, and I was like, oh God.
That's amazing.
You have to have an escape route.
Never know.
I know that. I know that the majority of people I know that are doing anything in costume, whether or not they're playing a like Poppin' Fresh. You know what I mean? They have a handler. If they're in a print, stuff like that. Do you bring someone with, or do you feel more confident being male, not having someone with? Because I know a lot of women will go to parties and they've got a backup.
Usually, I've gone to about 99% of my parties by myself, and there's been only like 2 or 3 times my friend was just waiting in the car. And both those times, or one of those times, he was actually invited in. I was like, oh yeah, my friend's actually and waiting in the car, and they're like, is he a part of the package too? Is he a dancer too? I'm like, no, he's not a dancer, but I mean, I'm sure he'd be more than happy to come in and see all you ladies, and you guys excited to see us guys. She's more than happy to do that. So they invited him in sometime, and lo and behold, there he goes stripping, and he's totally not prepared. He's just in his normal. He doesn't have a thong whatsoever. Just like these lame boxers. He's like, I wasn't ready for this, but I'll do my best.
That would, I would say that something's definitely different, because I can't imagine that there's too many female strippers that are going to arrive at a private party without their own bouncer or their own guide. Yeah,
they have to.
The women they're way better prepared for it, and they have to be. I understand they're. If I'm going through what I go through as a male versus female, I could just kind of imagine what a female will go through with guys. But guys, I generally, I would say, are pretty much more respectful in that aspect. And as hard as it seems.
You're preaching to a choir.
Yeah.
Because 100%.
Well, they're used to going out to the local bars and the strippers and stuff like that. So there's a standard of behavior that is more well known.
Yeah.
There might be ladies' nights here and there in the bars, but there is no regular male dance or strip review here in town.
They lose their heads when they see it.
Yeah. I remember, 15 years ago, out in Vegas, I went to a wedding. And part of the whole thing was we went to see Thunder Down Under, which up until that point, and actually it was better than I ever even thought it was going to be, because prior to that, the only reviews or even male strippers I'd ever seen were just lame. They were not good dancers, not very talented.
Mm-hmm.
They were great looking guys with killer bods that just kind of humped the air. Oh. And I'm like, this is actually preposterous.
That's
looking.
exactly what I'm talking about.
And it made me laugh. And I'm like, this is so not sexy. But the Thunder Down Under, there was this one guy that did this whole thing about splashing a drink on his toe. Oh, I'm having a moment. But he was fantastic. He was really, really good. And so that sort of changed but it would be great to see guys that are better at it. I mean, are the Booty Cruise guys in Toto pretty good?
They are really good. I watch them.
I'm not gonna.
We've gotten very good reports back when we're going through there, and because they're there. I mean, the gals that are working. Michael, it's working because a lot of times we have to protect our our sales area. But it's part of the deal, and if you're not going to have folks that know what they're doing, then there's no reason for someone to want to go on this thing.
No,
right?
I mean, you can go somewhere and get drinks. You can go to, fancy gifts and go shopping, but you can't get drinks, go shopping and see strippers all at the same time in too many places.
And it's nice because on a booty cruise, we're on the same floor as the strippers, so it's kind of nice. So you can shop for your dildos and shop for your stripper as well.
Perfect. And speaking of shopping for strippers, I'm just going to mention to our audience, the great Megan is not in studio with us today, but she is our terrific social media guru here, and she will go ahead if you are interested in meeting with Brandon, hiring him. Hopefully, we assure you he's adorable. You can tell he's a super fun guy by just talking to him. Go on the Gr8 Nrthrn Sexcast Facebook page, shoot us a message to the admin. Megan and I will get it, and we will make sure that we get your information over to Brandon. But how many people, they never get to hear what you're like, and I think this is a great opportunity because I could be listening to him and going, oh, he'd be cool.
Yeah.
And we assure you he looks awesome. So there's no question.
Maybe I should let him know, like, my actual stage name is Mason.
Mason.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I don't care that they call me Brandon. It's just, most people know me as my stripper name, Mason.
Okay.
And my company is actually called Mason Nrthrn Entertainment.
Mason what?
Mason Nrthrn Entertainment.
Okay, so I'm going to write that down, and we're going to make sure that we
I
put
got
a
the
link.
website and
Great.
flyers, cards.
Oh, we'll totally link it.
And
Yeah.
we'll absolutely link it up, and make sure you tell everybody too to check out the podcast here, and your interview and clients and everything. And this is a great calling card for you too, Brandon. In the future, if somebody's like, hey, I was just on a podcast, they can hear your philosophy, which I think is great.
Maybe I should visit more often. I can
Definitely.
I can bring like female strippers, guys strippers. I can bring them all.
We need more people coming in because we are always looking for the latest perspective and what we're going to do. We've got more questions for you, but then we're going to have you jump in on some of the regular show things that we do.
Okay.
On some of our stories and things like that. I had another thing. I mean, is this what's your long-term plan with this?
I want to open my own club.
Really?
Like I really do. I've been at it for a while. Well, right now I have a very normal life too. Like I actually work at the hospital. I own 2 houses that I'm currently renting out. And I went to school for exercise science, so that's kind of where all the body and all that stuff came from. It all just
I can see the homework was done in the exercise
Right.
science. I'm just being honest.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It took a long time.
She stayed in her own seat, away from your dance space.
I can give her a little demonstration.
It might be 38 degrees out, but the arms are bared.
Yes, they are.
I can see it.
Yeah, so I actually have a very normal life. Besides that, but a long-term goal is like, I love the hospital. I like my normal life. It makes great money and all that stuff. But I am a nightlife person. I just kind of wanted to stay to their roots because I'm like, I'm not going to kid myself. I wanted the normal 9 to 5 and all that stuff, wife, kids, family, but I don't have any of that right now. So
and you're still under 30.
Yeah.
So you're okay.
So work, girlfriend, all that stuff. It's all good. But I really want to get to that point where I own my own club and host my own venue, and I'm really close to doing it.
Wow.
Very close. I'm just getting the licenses for liquor license and then the whole entertainment license and all that stuff.
That's a lot of hoops.
Yeah.
It is.
It can be complicated, but I have people that have seen me perform. They absolutely love my idea. They've seen my company on the website, and they're like, I think you can make this work. You got a good head on your shoulder. You're really pushing for it. You're not one of those junky male strippers that kind of are into it just to be into it.
Yeah.
Because you're dancing at a bunch of women. You want to go home with some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
That's a good handful of mentality of most male strippers. A lot of some of them actually have a business mind about it, but. The other ones, maybe some of them on booty girls.
Maybe a few.
They were like, oh my gosh, she's sexy. I want her.
Where are you thinking? What's your geographical desired area for a club?
Right here in Minneapolis.
Oh, cool.
They're lacking one.
Yeah.
I've actually been to other states where Las Vegas is a big one, California, Florida, Atlanta. I've been to other places to strip. Chicago's a big one, but Minneapolis is missing a good male review show in this city. They really are missing one, and they're desperate for one.
Oh, I bet.
The girls I perform for them at the parties. They have a ball. I was like, man, if I can get at least 5 of these girls, these parties, and just put them in one area, they would just have a ball. They would have a great time.
Yeah.
I know they would. I just have to find the guys that have a good mindset to do it, though.
Right. You'll screen them for the various things you were just describing.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. No,
Yeah,
that's
because
awesome.
it's a job.
It's a job, and it's
It's
really
hard work.
easy. Yeah, you can lose your head in the job because it does put your head way up there as a guy.
I'm assuming it's quite the ego boost.
Yeah,
sometimes.
so you
when-
got
when-
girls screaming
when the show's
for
going
ya.
really well, when everything about it is exactly right. You're like, well, wow, I am a god.
like booty crews.
I am.
Yeah.
I am.
Those guys' egos just go through the roof
Oh,
as soon as they
yeah.
walk in. They're just like their nervousness just leaves their body. They're like, "Oh my god, they're screaming for me. What? I'm good."
And it's good because and it's nice because it's a fun sort of enclosed environment, and so it's going through.
Yeah,
and
we're
it's
stuck on a
so-
boat.
So you can't run if you want.
Sink or
to.
swim, right?
You want to swim to shore? Go for it.
Well, I gotta ask though, what's it like, relationship and dating wise, having this portion of your business?
Every girl I've ever been with has been very 100% supportive of me. It doesn't bother them at the least. The only thing, probably will bother them is like you go to a party and it goes longer than you expected, and you're like, oh. Did you get caught up? Like, no, actually, it just went longer than expected. That's really honestly what it is. But other than that, every girlfriend I've ever had has been 100% supportive. They've even helped me get clients. Like, they're probably more into it than I am. And it's funny. They sit up here and they will brag that my man is a male stripper. He is fucking hot.
Yeah.
He is like, they go and brag about it.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
because it's tough though. Because if you're working every Friday and Saturday night, it makes it tough to go to another friend's event.
Yeah.
Because you're looking at like I want to go to this thing. I want to go to my friend's birthday party or this or that or an event that they're having. But you're like, but this is my livelihood. Anyone that's a performer.
Yeah, so but like I said, it totally works. I've never had any issues with it whatsoever. And me and myself, I've dated a female stripper, and I had absolutely no problem. I get it. I totally get their field, and I'm like, you guys, they're more safe than us male strippers. So I'm like, I really have no problem with it. Right. They got a whole club. They got security guards and everything. Yeah. Here, I'm at a house by myself versus 20 women. I'm like, all right.
Oh.
And females, they generally are one-on-one with a guy.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm versus 20. I got about 5 of them scratching me. I come home scratched up, and they're like, what happened here? Oh, this girl got excited.
Well, just I've never booked a home party myself, so just to give people kind of a range of what are some of the costs to do this, to hire you?
It depends on the company you go through. My company is $50 deposit, $50 show-up fee. So you do a $50 deposit that's non-refundable. So if you do happen to cancel the party, unfortunately, we can't give the $50 back because we write it in. We totally let them know, hey, this is not it. We put it in bold letters and we repeat it about 3 different times.
Yep.
This is non-refundable. Please make sure you want to do this. So after that step is all done, when the stripper arrives at the party, they get a $50. The rest, it's like $100 altogether, and you give them the remaining $50. And then the tipping base usually based off how many girls are at the party. So it's generally like $20 per girl that's at the party. Do we always get tipped up? No, it is tipping, but it's just that's kind of the basis.
The average.
Yeah,
Okay.
we kind of base it off how female strip clubs are. $20 a lap dance, $20 a girl.
Yeah.
Usually they only get 1 lap dance anyways. Some girls get 50 of them,
Yeah.
but and they don't tip a dime for it.
Oh
But
yeah, that's too bad.
yeah, so that's generally how it goes. It's a very easy process. Just when you do order a male stripper, do not be afraid. Us male strippers are the nicest guys you will ever meet. We are very nice. We understand your anxiety that a foreign guy is coming, works out, looks pretty strong. Mm-hmm. No, we're very nice. We're not that douchebag in the gym. No, we're not that at all. We work with females for a profession.
Yep.
We love you guys. We love women.
Aw.
Yeah. No, because if you're gonna have to be a personable person.
Yeah.
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 You're just not gonna be able, and to be able to go into a stranger's home and perform.
No,
whether
exactly.
or not, yeah.
I know. I get that anxiety. A lot of girls every single time. Oh, we were so afraid. We're so happy we did it. We thought we were gonna get some crazy. Like, no. About 90% of the time, you're gonna have a great time with your stripper. I understand sometimes they can suck at their job, but they won't be like bad people whatsoever.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You know what we got to do? I'm envisioning a game show that we do like once a month where Brandon brings in a couple and we do like, I don't know, stripper Price is Right. I think this needs to become a regular feature here on the
I
Great
would be
Nrthrn. Would that be
absolutely
so much fun?
happy.
And we'll get you questions like, okay, a close talker who wants much gyrating at that level. What is the average price? And I'm going to write down what I think it should be. And the stripper that gets the closest one gets the prize.
Well, I want to go with this one because I don't know myself. I like you, so you win.
Yeah, right. If she's hot, no. So, guys, can we do some of the news items? Because we are running out of time. Brandon, you're such an engaging guest that we've got a few things that we normally do.
Go for it.
Oh, yeah, no, you're joining.
No,
you're great. Just really quick, just any new fantasy gifts updates. We always want to mention the events that are coming up, Colleen.
Well, we've got Pride coming up. That's the last weekend in June. We're always out there. And the other day, an enormous pallet of stuff showed up. And we're like, what's this? Is it back orders, this or that? Yeah, our distributor sent 8 humongous boxes of stuff to give away at Pride.
Really? What's in there?
We don't know yet.
Oh, you haven't opened it?
Where are you guys located?
Yes.
Well, actually, we just found out it's booths 28 and 30, and we're going to have a spinning wheel and games, and we just had a lot of fun. It's going through there.
Pride's a riot.
And
it is.
the only part that's sort of a pain in the tuchus is the fact that you can't leave anything there. So you have to set it up and take it down on both days.
Okay.
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
Because one year someone left their stuff in there and everything was taken.
Yeah.
And you just can't, I'm like,
Oh, you have to worry about the storms. I think every year, knock on wood, that we have a storm where people will be flooded. And if you leave your stuff in there, you're losing merchandise. There's been a lot of booths that were flooded last year.
We've got, and before that, on June 13th, once again, we've got Jessica Drake coming to our Burnsville location.
Yeah.
She is going to give me a seminar
A
called
cinema?
Let's Say,
I hope you meant cinema. I hope that was the that you were going to say.
no. There's a seminar. It's called Let's Talk Sex with Jessica Drake. And she's very, very excited. It's just sort of going to be an all-encompassing conversation with her about the products she likes, but a lot of it's just Q&A. And so she's going to answer, she's going to talk to you. Right. And then when she's done with that part, she'll meet and greet everyone and autograph stuff. It's going to be really, really nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Burnsville location.
Burnsville, yeah.
Burnsville,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of parking down there. So that's one of the reasons we're doing it. It's a big store, and we wanted to go down there. And one of the reasons we're doing it, too, is that they finally pretty much finished all the Highway 5 and Highway 13 construction. So we want to go, hey, folks.
We got it going on over here now.
It was quite fun, folks getting to. They did. We have very loyal customers, and they
Very
found
loyal.
us and just going through there. And this is sort of a thank you down there. I mean, it's going through.
That's awesome.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, way in the fall, there's Crypticon. We're always there.
I love that.
For sure.
Yeah,
The Comic-Con people were just everywhere 2 weekends ago.
I'm guilty.
Were you there?
I was there. I'm guilty.
Oh, no. You know what's so funny about that, you guys, is my boyfriend owns a liquor store downtown Minneapolis. And it was just, may I just say, batshit crazy in there that night. And the people coming in with all the stuff. I mean, he called me and I picked up my cell phone. He goes, help, just help. And I'm like, okay. And I showed up. And,
We had a booth out there, but we realized, the smaller venues, local venues do better for us because it's when you have your kids with you, we have this. Our egos were boosted like crazy because everyone was like, "We love you," blah blah blah. But I shop at this store. People mentioned that they heard the podcast. I mean, really, the ego boost was amazing.
Yay.
It's very exciting.
And
That gets me excited.
but it was not really a venue for sales. So I have to reevaluate whether or not it's an advertising thing or a sales thing for me. It's going through the imaging and branding. So there's everything going through there. But we were thrilled with how people were reacting to us, and that was spectacular. And it just folks had so much fun. And I know, and I have to admit I helped tear down, and you get to drive inside a building. I don't know, it sounds sort of weird, but it was sort of fun. You don't get to drive. Yeah, you don't get to really drive inside a building. I mean, I know it's dorky, but it made me giggle.
See why we love her? It's never dull. It's never dull. She can find fun anywhere she goes. I'm telling you.
That's a gift. It
Yeah.
really is.
Oh yeah, you got to take the small victories in life because it makes it a hell of a lot more fun.
Well, I mean, being a part of Fantasy Gifts, how could you not?
Yeah. The warehouse staff is very entertaining.
I want
Especially when you have a leader.
It is. You know what? I think we need to do.
One of these days we'll do another one from the.
We had to,
from
and
the
we'll do
office.
it, but we'll invite a couple of different guests, and it'll be quiet enough. So we love broadcasting from the gay 90s. It's just the music is so loud. The
We need
audio
a new
is
spot.
Yeah,
we need to go away from the speaker.
Yeah, well, I know it's kind of hard, but we got to do one at the warehouse, and it'd be fun to have like some of our great past guests show up too. So that
Oh yeah, like Sin and Brandon and
Yep. And more. And there's more coming up. We've got some burlesque dancers coming up in our near future, too.
Oh, I love burlesque.
One of the things,
too.
gosh, we're getting so close. Well, I have a news item, speaking of that. Today, we do the Gr8 Nrthrn Sexcast news every week.
Because there's always something.
There's always something.
I
Last week
imagine.
it was tailpipe sex. Lots of guys humping tailpipes from all across the country. And
Yeah,
world.
yeah, that look. That was no, it was like that was a big old WTF look. What the? No, it's yeah.
It
yeah,
just reminded me of those Guidos in their car. And they're like, "Oh, baby, I love you." I'm like, whoa, slow down.
Well, they really
it was.
loved
Yeah,
them.
I
yeah.
guess so. Wow.
This one just struck me funny. So, I think a lot of us have been afraid of the idea of a home invasion, and it would be very terrifying to encounter a burglar, right?
Right.
Woman in Sarasota, Florida, gets up, goes down to get the coffee, and dude is asleep on her couch. Guy came in through her sliding glass door with the intention to rob her, and he had already gathered her wallet, checks, credit cards, and all that kind of stuff, but he just was a little too tired to go on his way, so he just thought he'd have a little lie down, and she walked in and confronted him. He's like, "Oh no, I was just confused. I thought this was my friend's house." Anyway, they ended up catching him and she wasn't hurt, with all of her stuff on him, but really?
Not good.
I think you need a Red Bull.
Before you burgle, have a Red Bull. I mean, seriously.
Not that that should be, not that I'm particularly, I'm not advocating this, mind you, but it just seems that if you fall asleep during yeah.
I mean, just from the stories, me working at the hospital, I hear crazy stories like that all the time. But going to sleep when your attention is bad, like.
Do you think maybe he had narcolepsy? Wasn't that when you fall asleep automatically?
Yeah. Oh, no, he was stretched out. I mean, he tucked himself in type of deal. He clearly was like, I'm just going to take a couple minutes here. And
Maybe
whatever.
he smelled her perfume.
Well,
He's like, oh, there's a girl here.
he's chilling out. He's chilling out at the county jail. He hasn't made bail. Do any of you guys know who the human Barbie is? Have you heard of her?
I heard of her. She's on Facebook a lot.
Yeah, I've seen some pictures in which she had so much cosmetic surgery because
Yeah.
she wants to look like the Barbie doll. And
Well,
she looks like
She's
the
very close.
Yeah.
She's real close.
She finally admitted that she's photoshops too. So,
okay.
so there was rib removal apparently and all this other kind of stuff, and she still has to Photoshop. But so she's just standing up to the haters. I know it's creepy though. I'm sorry, it's a little creepy.
Well, yeah, because I saw some videos on YouTube about her, and I was like, well, I don't personally think she needed all the Photoshop, but I get it.
Yeah.
There's always that perfection thing. I get that, but for the jobs that she's already done, I'm like, I don't think it's going to get much closer than that.
No.
And there is something a little creepy about it at the end of the day, because she kind of doesn't look real.
Yeah, I'm
As a-
just fascinated that she would find surgeons that would be willing to do this. But I suppose if you write a big enough check,
Right.
you're going to find
Money
someone.
talks.
Yeah. But
Money does
that
talk.
that to me would certainly fall under the do no harm thing. I don't think. But then again, there's the lady that looks like the cat. So yeah.
Yeah.
Every person has their finish, I guess.
Yeah.
Some guys are probably really into her.
Have you guys heard of the dad bod movement?
Yeah, that's incredibly So you celebrate the average guy, but somehow women's bodies still get picked apart one way to another.
I was just about to say that.
I'm just reading this
about to
going,
say that.
well, screw that shit.
Let's celebrate the man, the dad. But by all means, if that's what you're into, go for it. I mean, I work for my body, but if that's your movement, that's totally fine. My movement is the fitness side, but you can't celebrate one side and not celebrate the other, because that's just
guys,
it's a double.
yeah.
It is a double standard.
Yeah, I mean, Kate was supposed to walk out of the hospital hospital, and everyone's like, wow, like you're supposed to, you celebrate the fact that you can lose the weight in like 2 minutes. Well, screw that crap. I didn't even give birth to my kid, and I still got the baby weight, and I don't care.
So do they have like a mom bod movement?
No, but the story really is. I mean, there's some hilarious videos of these guys dancing, and they're, I'm sure, nothing like what you do, Brandon. But they are funnier than all get out. But the women are saying, "Hey, it's not fair. How come it's okay for them to be average and we think it's cool and we aren't?" So you hit it right on the head, both of you guys.
So who made the? Go ahead.
Well, just go on YouTube and just search dad bod, and there's some videos that will just. They're
started
funny.
from a paper that some 19-year-old wrote for something, and then she put it online, and it just sort of people picked up on it. So it was some sort of essay or school paper or blog. I don't know.
I'm not knocking the movement. Like I said, I just think it's a double standard too. I'm totally on your guys' side.
Yeah, I didn't even tell you. You guys honed right in.
Okay,
so Kali von Wunderkammer. And I'm always wondering with fetish artists why they always have some sort of a German, Dita Von Teese or, something like that. But this is a weird. This woman has either no pain or a pain threshold that is so high. She does all this burlesque stuff like on beds of real nails and crap. And there's this whole show around her and these other women that do all this freakish stuff. It's, of course, where? New Orleans. But it's called the Storyville Rising show. And the still photographs from this are just amazing, and she just does all these amazing burlesque things in these incredibly things that we'd all be like screaming for mama. I mean,
I would go see this. My brother went to school in New Orleans, so I went down there for a couple of spring breaks, and this was eons ago. And Bourbon Street at that point was pretty low key, low key. It's mainly filled with the franchise strip joints now. Nice. But I went and saw this one that was supposed to be like topless mud wrestling. It was like two women in sweatpants slapping at each other. I was in hysterics.
Oh my God.
And so if there was real excellent burlesque down there, that would be outstanding.
This sounds almost like goth burlesque to me, though. Like if you look, like torture burlesque or serious SM.
S&M, right?
Yeah, but the thing is that voodoo and all that sort of stuff is very popular down in New Orleans. So you sort of pull that all together.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Whoa.
There's a lot of so I can see how that would work down there. But at least, once again, there's going to be some thought and some art. I'm pretty sure that there's no sweatpants.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably, Two women slapping each other.
Oh, God. It was...
I can see that at Walmart.
God. It was... I giggled so much it was worth every bit of, like, the 2-drink minimum, because that was one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
2 drinks.
Yeah, but it was pretty damn funny.
Wow.
But, that's what we...
She's got an idea.
So, no, here's the deal. We got, as a special deal, in... at Fantasy Gifts right now, and there's one at each store, lube wrestling kits.
Nice!
It is a black vinyl pool, sort of square sets, and it comes with a gallon of lube, and I think it's like $199.95. And there's like warnings all over it, because we don't want anyone getting hurt. You got to do this on your knees. There is no, you want to be, you do not fall down and hit your head or anything.
You're done.
But I'm like, we got him in? I'm like...
me at my hospital.
My God.
Yeah.
What were you doing, lube wrestling? Was it fun? No.
It was until it wasn't.
Yeah.
My head hurt.
But it was fascinating. So we got one in for each store, sort of a special purchase, and I was just thrilled because we had them available for special order, but they had a deal, and so we brought them in, and we're just like, I love this.
They got to make a YouTube video. I want to be the guy. But find me a girl, please.
Oh, that is good stuff. Okay, real quick, final wrap up. Gosh, we are just, the show is going so fast today. Everything is so much fun. Really quick, just some new goodies from the AVN Adult Entertainment Expo, and I can't believe it. You actually brought one, but the first one we got to throw out there, if you haven't seen this, the real dolls that are out there. Michael, you've seen them. Go ahead and tell everybody what those are.
I have. They are pretty expensive, but guys will order these. They run probably around, I think, between $5,000 to $8,000, but you can have them custom made to whatever star you want. You can buy lingerie that actually fit. They're pretty amazing. They are.
I just don't have that kind of cash on me at the moment.
Yeah, but no, the company's been around for over a decade now. Real Doll, and it's been fascinating because I guess the new start price is around $8,000. You can customize up, and then again, if you're going to spend that much money on a doll, you're going to want exactly what you want.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is a fast. They've only grown. They've only become better at what they do. Mm-hmm. So if you all kudos to them because they've obviously, this is not a flash in the pan. They're over a decade or more old now.
Wow.
So tell us what's in the box over here.
We currently brought our Hydromax. This is our water pump. And we currently sell this at our Minneapolis store and our Burnsville store. And there's a whole big pump display, which a video where it actually shows a guy playing a saxophone in the shower with the Hydromax wrap on his penis. It is very interesting. It's just worth going to those stores just to see the video.
Okay.
But it's not like any of your ordinary pumps. This uses water instead of air. So it gives you better suction. You won't get the... with air, you get hickeys on your penis if you pump too long. It just looks weird. This, you're guaranteed not to have any of those dysfunctions
or disfigurements.
It's disfigurements as well. But yeah, this is it's the most comfortable pumps that we carry. It does work with water and everything, so it just makes it a lot more better experience.
Well, alrighty then. Well, the final one that I saw, I think this is my favorite item that I've seen in a really long time, the magic ball. Have you guys seen these? Okay, everybody knows what an exercise ball looks like, right?
Yeah.
And I usually at home at my desk, I sit on one of those instead of a chair, and all that
Makes
kind of
sense.
stuff. Core, you do all those workouts. These have dildos sprouting out.
No, we sold one in the past. And
I can't shock them. I try.
No.
We may have been. I'm not sure if the company was Doc Johnson. They have a vacuolock system, and they sold it was only about a 12-inch. Well, this is a much larger, fuller
and
size.
they've got handles too.
Like the little hoppy things that you had as a kid. I don't.
So I'm assuming that has the vacuolock. So if you have that ball, we do have the accessories.
Which would make, when you say the vacuolock, let's just clarify that because I want to be vacuolocked today. But what you're talking about is to lock it to the floor.
It actually locks it to the toy.
To the toy,
Yep.
okay.
Oh. Yeah, it's a Doc Johnson. So it's an interchangeable strap-on system. So there's harnesses, there's the dildos, there's a knee harness, there's a small ball. I've got most of that stuff because it's not cheap. I mean, it's really well made, but
You get what you pay for.
Yeah. Most of it's on our partner site, and you can take a look at the Doc Johnson, look up the vacuolock system, and you can see the pieces. They may have added, I'll have to take a look and see whether or not they've added the larger ball, because it sounds like something they would make.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'll
I just
look it up.
Sense.
I want somebody to put one of these in the gym in the corner where all the balls are. And then I want to see the unsuspecting person go to get the ball for, ball pass abs or something. And then they pull that back and there's this big dildo coming at them. Yes. Yes. That would be fantastic.
Build your core and other
About half of
things.
them will freak out, and then there's that one girl.
So
they're
you
like,
could do core exercises and Kegels at the same time.
Yes.
Well, Brandon, we're going to post your stuff on our Gr8 Nrthrn Sexcast Facebook page. But can you give us state your website for us for our audience?
It is Mason Leonard, Mason A. It's got to be the microphone or something.
Yeah.
MASON Leonard LENNERET.com.
Leonard. Okay. Okay. MasonLeonard.com.
Yeah. And after that, it's ET no spaces.com.
Okay.
So that's ET.
You might want to write that down for us.
entertainment.
Yeah.
We'll put it on the website. And again, as I said earlier, if you'd like to reach out to Brandon to hire his services, great. We'll just send a message to us, and at the Gr8 Nrthrn Sexcast, we will get back to you. Brandon, what a pleasure! Are you going to come back?
Of course.
This was fun, huh?
It was excellent.
And I'll see Brandon at Booty Cruise. I'm not going to be
Yeah.
there for the June one or the September because I'll be on a cruise, and that takes precedence. But I will be there for the July one, so you'll have to come to our booth and say hi. Since
I
you're
will.
usually right next to us, so I see all those ladies sweating, and they get them riled up at Booty
Oh,
Cruise.
I
We
bet.
have to. That's our job.
Right. And there's liquor, and that helps. Those girls get kind of wild, especially, like I was saying, they're so panache when they get on the ship, but by the time they're grinding on each other, it's like, I didn't expect that.
I have a feeling it will be booked this year.
Yes.
After this. Special thanks to Brandon. Everybody have a great week. Gr8 Nrthrn Sexcast back next week.
Bye.
Have a great week.
See you later.